I just attached some of my own stuff. I did the whole dispatch thing, and you know my general bullshit where I'm over. Oh my god!
What?
Is that Libby?
It sure is, yeah.
I don't know if she'd be happy to see me.
Just stay in the immediate
Probably
area.
not. The last time I saw her, she
Just
locked
kinda
me in
for that,
prison
you
for
don't get
34
far out in Sandy, but
Yeah, probably.
we just kind of want to make sure this area is secure for the time being, okay?
I have to go say hi to. No, I think we're done with Rain for now. He's just kind of. I mean, you know
Yeah.
what it is. It's
all right. I'll let him know.
all right.
Hey, Declan.
Was he offered an attorney, by the way?
He was ready to Miranda right here. He's we're all wrapped up with Rain. He's just adding some evidence and statement into the I believe it's the incident report. So
Because I think you guys, we might need to do something else with what you guys are doing.
What's that?
29 and a half.
We might need Brady protections based on what happened with the other one.
About the permanent system.
That's
like
an angel question.
Yeah, let's get like two or maybe
his
even 3 if we have units
which was
available
in
that
the
are in the city.
report that was a
Please help
private
us.
command report looking into something was then used in court against him
by
criminally.
8 Milton Parkway, south of the gas station.
What do you want about?
What do you mean?
Yeah, what are you talking about? What incident? I don't know what you're on about.
You're not aware?
Are we talking about this incident just now?
No, I'm talking about the other one with Angel.
Okay, but we're not dealing with that right now. So.
Right, but so was he given that warning that anything he says in this interview could end up used against him criminally, or in like in an HR sense?
It was read as Miranda rights.
Right.
Okay.
So he's in custody.
He was read his Miranda rights.
So he was in custody.
He was read his Miranda rights.
So he was in custody.
That's not at all what I said. He was read his Miranda rights.
The CVPI that's on.
Why would he need his rights?
Mountain View.
Because we're asking him potentially incriminating questions. That's what the Miranda rights are. To protect somebody from incriminating themselves.
I'm going to be taking.
Okay, can you guys do that at
right?
VCSO?
I mean, that's where we were asking him questions, yeah, in the office.
Did you ask to use the building?
I don't know. I wasn't first on the scene. I believe we were offered the offers, but
okay.
Anyway, he's all good. So you know, if you need to get him out of here,
what does that mean?
We're finished with the interview. If you want to get
in custody.
No.
So why would I need to know that he's all good?
Because we've just had ADMC circling the building. So if you want to, you know, I'm letting you know that we're not interviewing him anymore. So if you want to, you know, as someone who sounds like they're in command of the scene, I'm letting you know that if you want to, you know, get him somewhere else for his own safety, you can do so.
We're safe here.
Okay. All right. Sounds good there. All right. You okay, buddy?
Yeah.
All right.
What do you mean, what do you mean, buddy?
I don't know.
Like
just,
twice.
Yeah, well, I mean, you sound like you got to stick up your ass, that's so.
Okay, and you sound like someone who has done nothing to deserve my respect.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, mate. Well, you take it easy out there, man.
All right.
Queen Libby,
yeah. You since you put me in prison.
Hi, Doc. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good.
Oh,
it's good to see you.
Craig, yeah, she was chief. Yeah, she was chief when I fucked up.
All right.
She put me in prison. Yeah. No hard feelings because I turned myself in, so that was all on me.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
And you pointed out the flaw in the system.
Yeah.
Now, dumb people
And guess what?
really,
that flaw
really
still
work.
exists.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, I
There's
got
someone on the roof.
Who's that?
I don't.
Like a cop or a...
I don't know. It looked like they were wearing pink.
Uh-oh. Well, it's very good to see you. I can't believe
Yeah,
you're
Charlie.
back. Oh my god.
What the fuck is a marshal?
Oh, it's kind of like it's a state cop kind of.
State investigators.
Yeah, state investigators that look into corruption and also criminal organizations like organized crime and stuff. But also they have APCs in case of
We don't just
treason or
look-
terrorists.
We're investigators that don't just look outward. We look inward too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some legislation
The,
on it as well if you want to give it a read
You
at
guys
some
get paid
point.
well?
God no.
Okay. That's the only reason I'm a cop right
I
now,
think
by the way.
we get
I
we
was
get
so
paid better
broke,
than
I had
cops. Hold on, well, I think
$250.
we get paid
Do
better
we?
than cops. I think, yeah.
I thought
I
we
think
get
cops
paid
only
the
get-
same as cops because it depending on where we're at.
I think it's a we get paid a separate paycheck than police.
Oh. Yeah, Libby, things are a lot more complicated these days. You've got Los Santos Police Department, and they have primary jurisdiction in Los Santos County. And you have Blaine County Sheriff's Office, who has primary jurisdiction in Blaine County, and they have secondary jurisdiction in each other's counties. But there's also state territories, which aren't a part of any county. And SASM has primary jurisdiction in those, and PCSO and LSPD have secondary jurisdiction in those. And you get paid differently depending on which county you're in because it depends on which mayor. There's two mayors, one for the south, one for the north. They set different pay scales for their officers. Their budgets come from different officers. All kind of crazy shit. Yeah, I know. It's fucking wild. These days are extremely confusing. But
Wow.
that's why we're out here, because there was a shooting death involved at the observatory, and the observatory is not part of Blaine County or Los Santos County. So I was like, oh, crap. And then Sky was like, please take this investigation over.
$250 to my name. I couldn't even afford my PD application. And then I went and got my hair done, and I had like $160 to my name.
Oh,
Someone paid for my
God.
Libby.
PD application, and then I sent out a tweet yesterday once I got the job because I couldn't afford a uniform, saying, "Hey, someone give me money," and someone gave me $35,000. So I mean, do I really need the job anymore? Not really. But hey,
That's true.
I'm gonna give it a red hot go, right, Lucas?
I believe in you.
Yeah. But hey, that reminds me, don't forget, so you pick up your paycheck at Bay City Avenue, but also you get a separate paycheck in Polito. So make sure you check that every
Oh
once in a
my
while.
god, that's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
Why did they make it so hard?
I had a random
I used to
$12,000
be
check up
so
there. I didn't even
rich.
realize it.
Holy shit. Hey, Craig, did you hear that on radio?
No, sorry, I had my radio turned off while I was interviewing. What was up?
There's a lady that was apparently tweeting something that you were saying.
Huh?
What was her name again?
Hey, why was Rain's gun seized?
I have no idea. Was it
For the investigation,
Yeah, but all of our guns are registered. Why do you need it?
for the integrity of the investigation.
What changes between you having it and him having it? They're all registered. You already have the ballistics.
Okay, listen, we're doing the investigation, okay? We got his gun for the integrity of the
Yeah,
investigation.
but I've murdered someone on duty, justified. My gun never got seized. Why?
Was that gun being done by the marshals? That investigation?
What does it change? There should be logic behind it, right? I mean, you just cost him $1,000 when we're all like broke right now.
We
I
offered to
literally
reimburse
just
him.
offered to pay him. And he said no. I was like, it's part of an investigation. I'm going to seize it, but I want to reimburse you. I literally offered to pay for it.
I don't get the logic. If the gun's
You
registered,
don't have
if
to
you
get the logic,
documented it,
right? I really couldn't care
Is
less
there
about your
logic?
opinion.
Is there logic?
Yes, there is, and
Yes,
I couldn't
it's
care less
evidence.
What
about
is
your
it?
opinion.
what's the
It's
logic?
Evidence
of a
in an
crime.
investigation.
So every time an officer shoots someone, wait, it's evidence of a crime now. Okay, so what crime?
Murder.
So he murdered someone.
Yeah, even if it's a justified shoot, if you shoot somebody and kill them, it's
So
it's
every
murder,
time
but
that one of us shoots someone, we're committing assault with a deadly weapon. So our gun should
Yes.
be seized, right? Because it's a crime. Is
okay.
that what you're telling me?
I think you're going a little bit overboard on
No,
this.
I'm using
We're
your
doing this-
logic.
Somebody
you just told me
died.
that is in a crime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Someone gets shot
Theoretically,
every day.
yes.
So does that mean every time we shoot someone, our gun should be seized?
Can I interject?
Theoretically, yeah, go for it, King.
So
I feel like he's going a
um,
little heated over nothing.
No. Just it's everyone.
I'm using
let's
your
roll it
logic.
back
If
a
that
little
makes you feel like I'm heated, then maybe your logic is flawed.
So I've also shot and killed somebody while on duty, and my gun wasn't taken or investigated then either. Something to bear in mind. That way of dealing with this situation, it kind of makes someone potentially feel that they're guilty or have done something wrong, when we're not necessarily investigating for that. So I'm kind of in two minds here. I understand both sides of this.
King, oh my god.
It's a tricky one. I mean, I don't, unless, I'm just gonna say, I don't think we should take anybody's firearm unless we actually suspect them of doing something wrong.
I'm trying to
if we're
understand.
interviewing them from a like a, you know, we're trying to figure out if a shoot is good or bad or not on the request of somebody else, fine, fair play, but it doesn't mean we need to take their gun. I don't think
I will point out. Hold on a second.
I'm talking.
Hold on.
This is a
Okay, I
situation that
understand
happens
that.
every
I'm
single
just going
day.
to point something
So you're just
out.
gonna interrupt me. You're just gonna interrupt
Yeah,
me.
I
Okay,
am.
cool.
I'm just pointing out a very
Go fuck
important.
yourself.
Okay. You see,
Fucking child.
that guy's a lieutenant, right? Okay.
Yes.
I will point out a very important fact that we had a motor gun that wasn't in evidence the other day from the LSPD. All right, that's a fact. So
Yep.
it's a very important fact, and it's a very important assumption that gun, that cadet's gun, might not also have been registered. So for the sake of our investigation, we're taking that gun. I'm not going to trust the BCSO or the PD that gun's going to be registered. So I'm going to take it. I'm not just going to like go out on a limb and hope that it's there.
Yeah, I mean, I that's the same thing with me. If I
It's
murder
$750
somebody in the
and
line
we
of duty,
offered to
my
reimburse
gun is
it.
being surrendered evidence. Sure, we get into shootings every day. Shootings happen. That's going to happen a lot. That's just the nature of this state. Deaths don't happen every day, and I take an extra step into making sure. And I asked Rain Sinefino. I was like, "Hey, are you? I would like your gun for investigation. Can I have your gun for this investigation?" Yeah, I will reimburse you. I mean, Dark, you were standing right there. I will reimburse you for this. It's like what, $750. I was like, I will pay you out of my own money just because it's part of the investigation. Because
I completely respect that. I completely agree with it. But like I work. We're meant to be working together, and if there's no established base of trust, it's gonna be very difficult to work together if there's no trust here, guys.
I mean, it's not that I don't trust him at all. It's literally just trying to make sure all the T's are dotted and the I's are crossed.
But that's what Richard just said.
What? Oh, that we
Richard
don't
just
trust
said
that the stuff was documented?
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that's a little bit extra for me. So let me put it this way, King. Not yesterday, 3 days ago, I went through 10 reports because I was skimming through old evidence lockers looking at guns in the registry, right? And this guy had a charge for gang-related shooting, and he didn't have a gang tag or anything on him. And I was like, no documentation about what gang he's a part of. And I was like, I'm just trying to start putting dossiers together and looking at guns. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go through old reports and see what gang he's a part of, see who's he affiliated with. And in 9 reports I looked at, 5 guns were missing from evidence.
We were requested to do this, sir. We were requested to do this, sir. Okay, there's so many problems here. King is one of them.
Sorry, I know you might want your privacy, but I want to make sure nobody shoots you, so I'm going to stand right here.
You're okay. Thank you very much.
I can see you from across the street.
Monsters are meant to be impartial. I don't see how taking the gun is making assumptions. I really don't. I don't see how taking the gun is making any assumptions at all. It's maintaining the integrity of the investigation. Like, if we take that gun, like, I don't see how that's doing anything. All we're doing is, like, getting the evidence of a scene where, like, that gun killed somebody. Like that's a gun that killed somebody. All it is $750.
Investigator thinks that officer has done something wrong, when that doesn't seem to be the case at all. I mean, but otherwise, I completely understand what you're saying, but I'm trying to see this from both sides. You have to see it from Crane's angle. He's like got an officer here who's like being looked. He's just like had to shoot somebody that he's got a personal relationship with or had a personal relationship with. Now he's being questioned to make sure that shoot was okay immediately after. You know, do you know what I mean? It's like you gotta kind of see where he's coming from there.
Well, I do get it,
and we have to. We're here to work together and to you know get stuff done. Of course, there's going to be mistakes and stuff along the way, but there has to be an established base of trust here between departments. Otherwise, we're never gonna. This is not going to work.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally get where that's coming from, and I can understand that. Again, all cards on the table. I don't really know 100% how the evidence processing system works. So, and we literally just got his gun seized and put it in there. If it's documented and everything's good to go now, we can. If it's okay, if we can verify everything is documented, I have no problem giving it back to him. I just needed to make sure that it was in the system, you know?
Well, yeah, I think just put it. All you have to do is like log it in the report like we would with one of our firearms or one of the PD firearms. Just put it in the evidence locker so it's logged in the report. Done. Give it back.
Will it stay? Like if it's in there and I can see it, will it remain in there? Is that like is that how the MDT fuckery works?
That's how our firearm registry works.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Like I said, I'm still 2 weeks into this, so I'm still figuring it all out myself.
I know. I'm trying to give you both perspectives because I've been in, you know, I spent a long time in PD, so I know. Trust me, that fucking MDT has had so many problems. Ask any officer that's been on duty or been a cop for more than 3 months, and there's been problems for a long time, and they are working very hard to fix it.
Yeah.
And as a result, I mean, Alice, I'm sure will be able to confirm this. There have been problems with reports and stuff not necessarily added, stuff missing. The MDT fucking duplicating a report a million times. You should have seen the fucking July 7th or 6th or whatever the fuck it was thing. Like that literally, you couldn't even open the report without your fucking head exploding. It was crazy. Trust me, there's like we need to have an understanding for that as well. I know we have to do our jobs, but we need to understand the fact that this MDT was busted and still is slightly for a long time.
The gun wasn't registered.
No. There you go.
The gun wasn't registered.
That doesn't change anything though. The point is that it's you know we don't need to just take it from them completely and just take it, register it, give it back. So
right, but if we didn't take it, then
sorry,
right.
I don't mean.
But if we didn't take it, then he went out on the streets and he got stolen, right? Then that's a piece of evidence that we no longer had. And then what about if it did come up? I'm not saying it is, but let's say for some reason there was an element of malicious act that Ryan had done, right? And we discover that down the line. Then that evidence might be an evidence that might be a piece of like murder evidence, right? That we no longer have.
Okay. So in that, I mean, with that logic, then I think we should probably make it a thing with PD where if you have to shoot somebody dead, your firearm goes into the evidence locker for evidence or something like. I don't fucking know. That seems like a.
That seems like this is the thing.
A better solution.
I'm not talking about PD. That's a PD thing to deal with. Like I'm saying that as marshals, if we're doing our investigation, we should. If we're doing an investigation into a PD shooting, I'm going to take that gun.
Yeah.
Fair, and we were requested to do this by Lieutenant Fay. And so when I've got another lieutenant of the BCSO, that's not a good look. When he's questioning another lieutenant's request of the marshal investigation, why have I got one lieutenant saying, let's do this investigation, and another lieutenant questioning our investigation? Why is that happening?
That's a great question as well. Yes.
I will step in as the lieutenant for shift 3 and just say that even Alice can confirm this. We have heard nothing from Sky about what happened with the situation at all whatsoever. I'm finding out things. You guys probably know more than I do at this point.
Sky was pretty shook up.
So yeah, and I
yeah,
don't
I
blame her for
literally,
that, but we didn't have a chance to speak with her or get any information from her at all whatsoever, and that
yeah,
would
I
include
literally,
Declan as well.
I literally clocked in at the marshal's office, and less than 5 seconds later, a 1013 Alpha went off at the observatory. So I
Yeah,
was brand fresh into this.
it's been like this all day almost. So,
but when I arrived at the hospital, lieutenants, I offered to let LSPD continue the investigation on their own, and they were like, "No, take this from me." And I was like, I can take it from you as a state marshal thing, just so we can do a third party investigation into it. I mean, it's just normal OIS stuff because there was a death involved. And they were both Rain and Lieutenant Sky were both like, yes, please take it from me. And so I'm handling this the way that I would normally handle any kind of death investigation. And I'm sorry to say to Crane, but yes, it is a murder investigation. Whether it is a good shoot or not, it's still a murder happened. And I don't think the officer did any wrongdoing at this point. But I still got to handle that. And that if this goes public, that report can get FOIA'd. And you and I both know how public perception is, especially on anything at this point. And so I think it's important to show that we are handling it just like we would handle anything else. Even if it comes out, as it should, that it was a good shoot. We need to be able to show the steps that we took, that we're not giving preferential treatment because somebody died, just because of an officer that pulled the trigger. You know what I mean? I think that perception is important, personally.
oh, that makes sense, 100%.
I just think that he was just this obviously is the first time that this has happened where an officer's or deputy's firearm was removed from them, and he was looking for clarification, and the is unaware of whether or not this is going to be a new standard, that every time a firearm is caused with a fatal injury, if that is going to be like the norm, that the firearm will be taken from an officer or a deputy. And what is the reasoning for that? What's the future scenario to retrieve the weapon back? Like, what happens next? And
yeah,
I think it got a little heated really quickly for a situation that is probably very easily talked about rationally, and everyone can come to an understanding that this is going to be the new norm, apparently. I think to reiterate what Lucas said, is that we have zero context on what this even was about, what the meeting was even about at the scene. I don't even know if Pierce is in ICU. I know zero details, and officers are being hunted by the ADMC.
I know a little bit about it because I talked to Pierce before she went up there.
Okay. Can you write a statement and write it down somewhere so other officers can know, Larry, if you have context to the situation? Because when I started trying to read about it, I'm confused on how the two primary people that were on that scene, there was no information on what their even reason they were there.
Yeah, I mean, we literally just walked out of talking with Rain about it to be like, hey, what happened? We're trying to give him some space because he was close with her, and trying to handle it sensitively because he knew her personally and had to shoot her, and I sympathize with that very strongly. And so I'm sorry the information's coming out very slowly. We're only just now finding it out ourselves.
I was just looking for some clarification. That's all.
Alice,
So I can
got
let everybody else know. Yeah, what's up?
I just got a report started up. I was gonna summarize the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm showing the motive in summary. I was there when Rain was saying it, so I'll go write that down too.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Crystal.
Documenting the twats and stuff too.
Since the firearm isn't registered in our system, do you guys want to register that firearm in our system? Register it to the deputy?
Yeah,
it should be registered in the report now anyway, right?
Yeah, we'll
marshal report. Yeah,
we'll edit the title.
It goes, yeah, that's it. The title change. That was the question I was asking. So
we'll change the title to Ryan's. We'll make sure its title is his firearm and stuff like that.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to put my the context I had in the meeting with Adler and OIS, or you want me to give it to one of you marshals for investigation, or what do you want me to do with it? It's not really much, to be honest.
Possibly what Crystal is working on, where she has information. If you have context on the scenario.
Anastasia basically told me she was meeting with Jesse Adler because Jesse Adler was going to give up some information in regards to an
Pertaining-
investigation that she was working on.
That is not what we heard.
Is there any other information about the said investigation or anything like
I
that?
forgot the name of the person. She said it was a close friend of hers and it was a murder investigation.
See, that's not lining up with the information we got from the interview so far, but we'll figure it out. But,
Who told you that, Larry? Anastasia?
Anastasia, yeah.
And where's she now?
She's in the
she's
ICU.
in ICU, isn't she?
Okay, I
Hmm.
know.
She
I
was- she was
don't know
shot.
if she is or not. Is she?
She
actually
is in the ICU.
Okay.
Yes.
That was. I wasn't sure if that was what happened and why we didn't get any information from her pertaining to what happened. That makes more sense now.
Faye is on duty now as well, so hopefully she'll be able to help us.
All right, but just to avoid something like that happening next time, I do think we need to suggest it's something like a standard procedure where somebody's firearm is taken if somebody dies. I think that makes sense. I don't think it harms anybody taking the firearm. It's what, fucking $1,000 or something? It's nothing.
Yeah, and that's honestly like I will push for that. If it becomes a problem where people are having trouble with financials about that, then that 100% should come out of the state budget to get reimbursed because it's evidence of an investigation, and it should be reimbursed appropriately.
Yeah.
If there are no marshals around, or would you like that to be something that command then will also remove the firearm from the officer as well, or deputy?
I feel like it should be a standard across the board. So I would definitely recommend it, but I'm not going to tell you that, you know, what you should and shouldn't do.
Well, I'm asking on behalf of, do you want me to take it for you guys? If you guys are going, are you guys going to, is it like a normal thing, or is it just because Sky had asked you guys to
I think we should have it as a standard, yeah. I think it should be a thing.
Yeah. This instance is literally just because Sky requested it, and it was on state territory.
Okay.
It was literally just like, I'm just following my normal procedure as how I would normally do this, but I agree it should be the standard. But that's going to be up to the individual departments, I think, and how they want to handle investigations like this, I think.
Well, I will relay the information to High Command.
Oh, Sky's not BCSO. I thought Sky was BCSO.
And
Never mind.
Start a discussion amongst them on whether or not, if it is going to be something that we would.
I'm
look to
thinking
make a standard
3.0
amongst the UPD to remove any kind of firearms if there is a person that becomes deceased from the situation.
Yeah.
And if there's a case, I mean, like, again, I know zero context of the shooting at all. I wasn't there, but I'm assuming there's confirmation that Rain was the shooting officer. So if it's a case where we're unsure of which officer caused that, would you want us to suggest to remove all of the officers that shot at that scenario?
Yeah, I would try to take anyone who opened fire at a scene like that to surrender firearms and just have them all reimbursed and reissued with new ones while the investigation continues. That's just so we can make sure we have literally everything in a row. That'd be my recommendation. Of course, I'm still a rookie marshal, so.
So is there confirmation that Rain was the officer that caused the fatal injury for that?
Rain said he's the one that shot during our talks with him. I don't know if I haven't literally put the gun in evidence, and I walked out the door, and then all this happened. Like, we started talking, so I haven't even got a chance to look through it all yet.
The reason I ask is because there were 2 other officers on scene that there were casings involved from that scenario as well, and I didn't know if you would need their firearms as well.
Possibly, because they.
Yeah, who's Fish?
Yeah, who's Fish?
Fisher, maybe?
Or is it Fisher?
Okay. Dan Fisher. Okay. Yeah, he only told us it was Fish. He was like, I'm not sure what their thing. He was like, it's just Fish.
Yeah.
And I don't know who that was yet. So.
Fisher.
Okay.
There was a casing that came back to Anastasia Pierce, who obviously she's in ICU, and the firearm that came back from a 1911, which I assume that would be the gun that Jesse had. Sorry, I'm just going back through them again.
Did they get GSR off? I mean, I know there's casings and shit off her, so it's a guaranteed. But
Now,
did they
Fisher
get
arrived on
GSR off her?
scene after the gunfight was over, so we don't need his firearm.
Okay. Wait,
Any other
I thought
post?
they said there was casings from his gun on scene.
But his statement.
Who said that?
Well, I thought
Fisher
you said
arrived.
there was projectiles on scene.
There's casings for Rain's firearm and Anastasia's firearm.
Yeah, so nothing from Fisher.
Okay.
And there, I believe, was a third officer, but I'm double checking again.
Yeah, it was Anastasia. It was Pierce and Rain and Fish were apparently the three on scene, but Fish was away and out of view, according to the original report.
I believe Aphrodite was running Jesse's firearm as well, the 1911. So she may not have put it in yet because she was at the hospital dealing with all the ADMC showing up and waiting to return her other possessions.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so there was just a 1911 and then the two police officers' firearms that were there were casings on scene for.
Yeah, I see Jesse's gun in the evidence. It's 64843 is the tag on it.
All right. Do you guys have anything else that you need from me?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. I appreciate you swinging through.
Not that I will apologize on behalf of the heated situation. Obviously, no conversations need to get to like all parties involved understanding and speaking to each other professionally and respectfully. I will apologize on behalf of Declan, regardless of the means. Like, no, we should never get to that point, right? So, if you guys need anything else from me, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. It's a stressful situation. Look, people are going to get heated. They're trying to look out for each other, and I get it. I just hope eventually someday they'll realize that we're not just here trying to search for. We're not trying to put cuffs on cops. That's not what we're here for. You know,
Isn't it?
This investigation is both to protect him and to make sure everything's okay. You know what I mean? And by everything I've seen so far, I'm
kidding.
I would say from what I've seen, just from the evidence I have and from the initial interview, it's a good shoot. And I hate to say it like that, but because he was close to him, and it's gonna be tough on him for a long time. And I really feel for the guy, but at least I want to get this part over so that he can start worrying about the other parts of the problem that he's going to have dealing with that death, and not have to worry about people breathing down his neck over, you know, is the marshals going to come after us for this? You know what I mean?
All right, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys have any more problems with the ADMC coming up here or anything, just let us know and we'll come through. Okay?
Yeah, I appreciate you.
All right.
Thanks, Alice.
Have a great day, guys. Be safe.
I added in Jesse
sorry.
Anastasia's 311 about meeting.
What's this shit? Fish milk.
So she had delayed a bit, but then they rerouted from Chiliad to Sorry.
You got anything to eat, Crystal?
Okay.
So I put that 311 in there.
Let me see.
All right. Thank you very much for that.
There you go.
Oh, then thirsty.
Oh. Yeah, I don't have any drinks. I just got this from the fridge at the BCS, so.
Thank you.
Sure, I need to go to get some food as well. But Richard and Craig, can I talk to you guys very quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna head out of here. You guys have a good one. It's nice seeing y'all.
Larry.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank you
anything.
for giving him a ride up here and making sure he was safe.
If you need anything else from me, just let me know.
Hey, so first of all,
Hey.
I'm sorry if I was trying to diffuse the situation there. I really was. I was just trying to give try and give his perspective because I could see what was coming. But as soon as he came out and was asking what he was asking, I knew exactly what was going on. So I'm sorry to cause more of a fuss there. But I just I don't know. I kind of understand where he's coming from. But at the same time, nothing of what either of you did was wrong in any way, shape, or form. But I can understand how it comes. It's just viewpoints, right? So he's seeing that happening. He's thinking this and that. He's probably still pissed, or he's probably fucking exhausted, to be honest with you. And he's probably pissed about the fact that somebody is now dead. And I don't know. But the point is, I don't generally see Crane reacting like that to stuff. Have you and Crane had problems in the past, Richard, or is it generally?
No, listen, I've never had an issue with the guy, but I walked in to inform him of that we will finish up with Rain, and given we had ADMC circling, I was just like, we're all wrapped up with the guy. If you want to get him out of here or move or anything like that, that's what I was gonna let him know, because he sounded like he was running the scene or whatever. So I go inside and I let him know we're all wrapped up, and he was like, he was super like aggro, and he was like, well, did you like breed him as Brady? Like, we need to get some like Brady. He was talking about like Brady violate. He's something about Brady rights or something. And I was like, was he offered an attorney? And I was like, well, yeah, we read him as Miranda rights. And he was like, so he was detained? And I was like, well, no, he was just read his Miranda rights. So he was detained. And I was like, no, we were just interviewing him. And he was like, did you ask to use the sheriff's office? And we were like, well, I don't know. I wasn't.
I don't think we need to.
I asked Rain where he felt more comfortable, and he said
he was just super aggro. He was super aggro with me, and I basically told him he's got to stick up his ass. And I was like, why? And he was like, because you've done nothing to earn my respect. And so I walked off. Because he was like super aggro about everything to do with that whole situation. All I was doing was to go inform him that, we're finished up with Rain and all this kind of stuff. And so I left. And then the next thing that happened was he came out and was like, why did you take his gun and all this kind of stuff. So that was literally like the first time, I think maybe the second time I've spoken to him.
Yeah, no, I've honestly never seen him like that before. But that's why I tried to diffuse it, but it didn't help, so I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. You tried whatever you could. You're kind of getting thrust into this in the middle of it. Trust me, I'm getting thrust in the middle of it too.
Well, I just I want to do whatever you guys really need here. But it just, that was like, I knew exactly what he was getting at, so I had to say something. And I kind of
I don't have.
I kind of like.
Guy, so.
No, it's fine. I mean, I kind of agree with him in that respect, that it does make it look like we suspect of him doing something wrong. But if there's an SOP in place with all the different departments where there's an understanding that officer firearms get turned in when somebody dies, I actually think that makes a lot of procedural sense. It helps us. It helps them. It actually makes sure that their weapons have been registered, because they'll find out very quickly if someone hasn't registered their firearm properly. And then they should be giving out DAPs for that kind of thing,
Well, and that's what I was getting at too, and I didn't mean to make it sound like I was arguing with you. Like I said, I was finding out that people were saying for over a month that the MDT was fucked, and I was like, well, I mean, then that could mean the registry's fucked, and I want to be doubly sure that that's the gun.
That makes absolutely sense. Yeah. So yeah, I think if we suggest this, no, I don't think it came out wrong. I just think it's like, it's just it's perspective. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't think he did. So that's why.
Yeah. But I really did my best not to treat Rain like a suspect, like a criminal. I literally, like, the whole interview thing was, he asked to come here because this is where he felt safer. I asked, where in the can we talk? Do you feel like talking about this? Yes. I was like, I walked him through the whole process. Where do you want to talk? I wasn't going to bring him into a fucking interview room, like an interrogation room. I was like, where do you feel most comfortable in this place? He was like, the sheriff's office. I was like, cool. You want to sit on the couch? Yeah. He plopped his ass on the couch. I made sure the guy was comfortable. I was doing my best to make sure he didn't feel like a suspect, And I read his Miranda rights, yes, because he needs to know that. I'm gonna ask him questions. Do I suspect him of committing a crime? No. I mean, well, yeah, he technically committed a crime. He committed a murder, but it's a good shoot from what I can see.
Right.
But he still needs to have access to those rights. You know,
Of course, yeah.
If there was an SOP violation or something like that, that comes from his department later. That's not our problem. Our problem was the crime that occurred, which is technically murder, and we are performing a criminal investigation. But there's no charges to be pressed here. You know what I mean? And so I still have to read him those rights. That's his legal right.
I agree. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I just think, I don't know. I guess I just worry because, you know, cops deal with a lot of bullshit on a day-to-day basis. Not saying that what we're doing here is bullshit, but if they start looking at us in the same way, like another step of bullshit, then it's going to be very hard to work with them. That's my worry, I guess.
Yeah. God,
I can agree with you
seriously,
to
I
some
feel for this guy
extent,
so
sure.
much too.
I don't know. I just maybe I'm overly sympathetic. If you guys think I'm being overly sympathetic here, please do say so. But I don't know.
There's no such thing. You need to have that. You have different perception than I do. I haven't been a part of this force. I haven't been a part of this police force in 7 years. You know, I'm gonna be a little detached. And even in the time I served, I spent all my time up north alone, where nobody hardly ever backed me up. So I have a little bit of a different perception of how things are. And it's important that we all use our different perceptions and our experiences to find the best solution to everything that accommodates all sides.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think the unfortunate reality is that there is going to come a time, and it might have already happened, where there is going to be a shooting like this, where the cop on the end of the gun is going to be doing it with bad intentions.
Yep.
And so if we make exceptions now, then we're going to make exceptions then. And then, but when the time comes and that bad cop does that bad thing and it is murder, then things aren't going to be done properly and we're not going to be able to do it right. So as much as, like, I agree with you, and, you know, cops do have it bad, and they might look at us like, you know, the boogeyman, and they might be like, you know, this is just another fucking thing for us to deal with. You know, if we are going to be doing this which I think we should, especially if it's on state property and someone has died. This is I've always thought that this should be the right way to do it anyway. When someone has died, that you take the gun and you make sure it's a good, you know, shooting. Like, if we start doing it now, then if we start doing it the right way, and it's a nice, simple way to do it, you just put your gun in evidence, someone comes along, checks the whole situation, you get asked a few questions, make sure everything's above board, and you go on your merry way. As long as it's a nice, easy process, and there's going to be nothing to worry about.
I agree. Yeah, completely agree. I honestly, yeah, that would be fantastic. I think if somebody dies, there should be, you know, it should always be looked at. Not necessarily because somebody thinks, you know, somebody's done something wrong.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
you know, everyone's going to be protected.
If this was a regular civilian, if this was a civilian versus civilian thing, we'd be seizing that firearm.
Exactly.
Also, I know the two sides to this, but us telling them that we're investigating a murder definitely insinuates that that, you know what I mean? And I understand that murder doesn't necessarily have to, you know, like, be lawful. Like what we do, if I shoot someone, like I shot Madison Bancroft, technically you could call that murder, but it wasn't, because I was, you know, I was exercising my right to defend myself, as well as I was a law enforcement officer.
Lawful but awful.
Lawful but awful, exactly. I think maybe avoiding using terminology like,
bad
hey,
choice
we're
of words,
investigating a murder. Yeah, that was a bad choice. That was a bad choice of words.
Understandable. But I mean, he straight up was like, "What are you investigating?" I mean, that's technically the law, the legal standard.
So it's an officer-involved shooting where the suspect died.
Yeah, that's what you got to say. Because if you say I'm investigating a murder, then if Declan's probably gonna be like, "Well, okay, so he thinks he thinks my officer's committed murder." That's how they're gonna think that, and I would too if I was on the other side of it. That's exactly what I would think.
Yeah, bad choice of words. 100% agree with you on that one. I was just trying. I just wasn't expecting that guy to come out here swinging it all hot-headed and all that. I was like, dude, this is
probably had a long
procedure.
night. He's a shift 2 guy, so
Yeah.
I give him that. I give him that respect, you know, where it's deserved.
Yeah.
I don't police that. I would never police that time zone. So I respect anybody that puts themselves out there and does it. So I get it. But it also doesn't mean that he was right to come out and act the way he did. So I'm hoping that he rectifies that at some point. Hopefully, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It happens. People are. I mean, not everyone's gonna like me. I know I'm a little bit different of a kind of person. And I've accepted a long time ago that not everyone's gonna be happy with me.
I think that's life, though. Can't be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah. Okay. Damn. What a interesting start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was coming on duty just to look at reports.
All right. What's
it was observatory, so I was like, oh shit, I have to go to that.
Yeah. Have either of you got a plan?
Can I have a chat you over here?
Of course you can, yeah.
Craig's just a rookie, so I'll just chat to you most of the most. Listen, I don't have a problem with you disagreeing on the stuff or anything, but I think listen, I think we're a new department, and I think I'll pose this the same way. This might be framed badly, but let's say I'll put this in perspective of a cop, right? Let's say you were what rank were you at?
I was a senior officer in
senior. Let's say you were a senior, you were FTOing your cadet, right? There's your cadet. I mean, we like FTOs, right? And let's say Declan's the criminal in the cell, right? And he's coming out swinging, asking all these questions. And you might agree with the criminal, right? You might agree with Declan on the things he's saying about the investigation that little old rookie's doing. But you wouldn't say that in front of the criminal. You wouldn't just you might pull your rookie aside and have a chat to him about it afterwards, but you wouldn't just say it in front of the criminal and the lawyer, right? You probably pull him aside afterwards. And I guess my point is I think we've got to stick together.
You're
and
right.
if you're gonna, you know, I don't have a problem with you having a different opinion. I'm not going to say we've got to be a hive mind. I think having different opinions is very important. But I think in the public view, we have to be, I think we should be united and be on the same front. And maybe if you were having different opinions there, maybe the better option should have been, okay, let's diffuse the situation, shut it down, and come back to it at a different time. And then maybe you could have that chat with Declan at a different point once, you know, you've had that discussion we just had by the colleges there. You know what I mean?
You're right. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think I didn't really think about that, I'll be honest. I should have done. So fair enough. I'll remember that for next time. I think I was really trying to just diffuse it and trying to offer his opinion in a way that wasn't overly aggressive like he was being, but it didn't help. You know,
I get it. Listen, people are gonna have different opinions. I like, and Declan's one of them. And I don't know why it's coming at it so hot headed. And I think I've done this. And Declan is I've dealt with a lot of Declans over the years when I've been IA. And there's always going to be Declans. People will get pissed off because as soon as you start looking into members of their department and they don't like the things they're doing, you know, you ever heard of Owen Svensson?
No.
No, I had a Declan called Owen Svensson back in the day. There's always Declans around, and you know, they're always going to get loud and shouty. But yeah, the best not to. The best way to deal with them is just come back when they're calmer.
You're right.
Yeah, I think we've got to stay on the same page, and especially back up the rookies. And you know, Craig's great, but at the end of the day, he is still a rookie. So
I keep forgetting that. I'll be honest with you. That's my bad. I will remember that for next time for sure. I guess I don't know. I'm just not used to I just need to get used to the fact that I don't need to be 100% open with PD in front of me.
I know it's a weird, and I don't listen. I'm not knocking you for it at all because just a few days ago you were part of their department, so I'm not knocking you for it at all, King. And you've just stepped out of one door and you've gone into another, so don't stress about it. I think we're all learning in this department, so. I think it's something we can all learn to do together, and I'm learning, you're learning. I mean, Craig's learning, so this is the first time for all of us. So we can all figure it out together.
I am struggling to adjust. I'm not gonna lie. The other day I went on a ride along with Espino's because there wasn't really a huge amount else that I could. I mean, I could go and take an officer to do an investigation, but then if there's a 78 call, they gotta go. So like, what the fuck is the point? You know what I mean? So I went on a ride along, and there was a situation where he was being tackled by 2 Hydra members, and I was just sat there in the fucking car, and I was like, I was actually upset, to be honest with you. I was pissed off.
You couldn't do anything.
I don't like that at all.
Okay, well let's fix something out today. Let's make a plan. We gotta get you some work to do. Well, you got any cases?
No.
Well,
I don't.
We got to change that. We got to. Maybe you want to help me out with this bestie stuff.
Yeah, I love that actually. That'd be cool.
I mean, you talked about the gas grenades the other day, so help me out with that stuff.
Okay, I'm down. Do you guys want to go in the same car? I can drive a nice car now.
I mean, yeah, sure. Let's get back to the station and pot these all up, and we got some stuff to talk about. I'm sure back at the station. Is that your one in the middle, Craig? Yeah. Oh no, yours is this one. How have I got keys to this?
I don't know.
I'll see you back at the office.
See you, King. I hope I made that not too like. I didn't want to talk down to King. I hope I made that I just think we gotta have each other's backs. There's not a lot of marshals, man. And we gotta have each other's backs. And from mine and Craig's point of view, it's like King's just left the PD and now he's backing up the PD in front of all the PD. It's like, come on, man. You're on our, there's no sides, but like you're with us now. You gotta back us up, man. The fact that that gun wasn't registered was such like the cherry on top of that situation. I've wanted this type of thing to like take a gun after an OIS, like someone said lethal shooting in chat. It's a good way to term it. I wanted to do that since I was ass chief back in the day. It's like not that long ago, but I wanted to do that for ages. Angelo, thank you for the tier 1, buddy. Welcome to the sock drawer, man. Make yourself at home. Enjoy the emotes. Yeah, I wanted to do like lethal shooting, investigation from commander, and get your gun, put it in evidence, Good bit of spice to start the morning, though, right, guys? Nice bit of spicy martial RP to start the day. What's this cop going? 98? That's his ticket right there, good sir. Crystal, slow down. 106. 126. Hey, Crystal. Hey, you slow it down, okay?
What?
Got 126 and a 95.
126. The the
What do you think this is? You slow it the heck down.
yes, sir. You actually can't be caught up with it. Ooh, I'm gonna do the prism stuff. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna go get my burner from PD at some point today. Yeah, I think I'm gonna loop King in with the prism stuff. Everything good, bro. Much love. God bless it. Oh, thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it, buddy. Corky is 33 weeks pregnant today. Monka W.
I can't get the gate.
I'm good at mate. Don't worry. My wife. Oh, why is there a bloody...
What the fuck?
Yeah, I saw this earlier, but I had to come up to BCSO.
Why is there so much weed in here?
Yeah, look at the yuck the marshals. Insane.
Is it the same shit as I was looking at? It is. It's Kush
Whoopee
again.
Kush.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna eat some nuggets and I'll pickle this up, I guess.
Oh yeah, sorry, I interrupted Dark trying to clean all this up.
All right, I'm gonna take a picture first. Yeah.
For free.
You good if I start picking stuff up too? There's so many of them.
It looks. Some of this stuff looks pretty old. Holy fuck! There's so much.
There's so many.
Christ. I have.
Oh my god, there's more outside.
Oh my god. I haven't got a picture.
Do. Ah, he registered his firearm now. Good lad. Let's do it already. Yeah, this song's great. I want more of this. Give me a song radio on this. I'm gonna replay it and put the song radio. Okay. Let me go to